Before we get into this, I want to remind you that it costs you $0 to subscribe, like, and comment on this video and let me know that you watched it and let me know what you think. It's much appreciated. Thank you so much. Now this is something that I've been waiting for it. I actually haven't been waiting that long for the actual shipment, but it's something that I've wanted to order for a very long time and it's finally here. And it actually showed up a day early, so. That's right, the Onewheel has officially arrived. All right, if you're watching this video, it's probably because you want to see the unboxing of the Onewheel XR. As of right now, I have not looked in the box. I simply pulled it out of the shipping box that came when it arrived from FedEx, and that's it, which was just a brown whatever box. Anyway, let's get into this. So the box itself, as you can see, is pretty big. I mean, the XR is actually a pretty good sized product, and it's heavy. This thing's almost, it's like 40 pounds, so there's a lot of weight to it. The box itself, super nice. It's got this nice little handle up here, just in case you wanted to pack it up to travel or something like that. I would recommend keeping the box for that purpose, who knows. But let's dive into it and see what we've got in the actual box. Just has these nice little flaps on here. Up top, we've got a nice little booklet. Ooh. And the $2,000 stickers, in case you were wondering. It does come with stickers. And this seems to be, this is the owner's manual right on top, so you don't lose that. All right, so when you open up the box, this is what you're gonna see. This is the Onewheel. It's secured in there pretty well. Got the charger in there, you've got the Onewheel itself. All right, first thing I'm gonna do, all right, let's pull this charger out of here. They use some really, really thick cardboard on this thing. All right, we're gonna get the knife. Right, here's the charger. All right, now for the fun part, which is pulling the Onewheel itself out of the box. Once removing the Onewheel, the box is completely empty. There's only 2 items in there. There's 3 items. There's the user's manual, there is the charger, and then there is the XR itself. And there we go. Now, of course, as you can see, they do have some more instructions on the actual pads. Just some little cardboard pieces here, which obviously we're gonna rip those off. One of the first things that it tells you to do is to download their app, register your XR, and obviously it's gonna need a charge. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. The app can be found in any app store, your Apple iStore or the Play Store for Android. Basically what the app does is it allows you to kind of control the board as far as how fast you can go. It'll show you your battery levels and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing registered. I'm gonna charge it, and then we're gonna take it for a spin. I've only really ridden a Onewheel once, and it was for a couple minutes, and it didn't go as smoothly as I thought it would. It's actually kind of hard to ride, especially if you're new, but I see some guys ripping around, so I'm excited to get used to it and see what this thing can do, so. Right, so a little bit of a piece on the app itself. It's just gonna run you through everything that you need to do. Powering it up, the first power up, this is the power button right here, so you just push that, it'll light up. Got some LEDs up here so you can see where you're going, all that stuff. We'll get more in depth with that after I get this thing charged up so we can do a real ride. Throughout the initial setup with the app, it's going to give you a couple tips and stuff as well as far as dismounting and all that good stuff too. So be sure to go through that whole thing. It'll teach you a whole lot, especially if you're new to this. A lot of these tips are extremely useful so you don't make yourself look like a fool, like I did. The app itself for this is gonna walk you through what you need to do for the initial setup, so I don't feel the need to go through that with you guys. It's gonna tell you exactly what to do, so. And of course, the day that the Onewheel shows up, it decides to rain all day. It hasn't rained in I don't know how long. It's just been a little cold, which isn't bad, but of course, it's raining today, so I don't even know if I'm gonna get to ride this thing on the first day. But it's charging, and if it comes down to it, I'll just ride around the house. Kind of like I did my motorcycle a couple months ago.
Popping on the west side, cause that's where I stay. I just made 1,000, blew it in your face. I've been going in, I'ma close the case. I can't wait no more, man, I gotta blow today. Popping on the west side, cause that's where I stay.
Alright, so it's officially time for the first ride. Well, not technically. I actually went to the warehouse yesterday and got some riding in. I did a mile's worth of riding in and out of all of our warehouse space. But today is the first outside ride since yesterday. It decided to rain all day. Thing rides pretty smooth. It's a little difficult because I've got about 8 pounds worth of camera equipment in my left hand, which is throwing off my balance just a little bit, but it's not bad. So we made it out to the park to do the first ride. It's a beautiful day out. It's in the 60s or so, something like that, so can't complain too much. Obviously yesterday I couldn't get any riding in because it rained all day, so we're out here today trying to get some miles in. Although yesterday I did end up going to the warehouse to at least try it out. Even though it was raining outside, it's obviously nice weather inside, so took advantage of that. So with the app itself for the Onewheel, it's pretty intelligent, to be honest with you. It'll tell you your top speeds, all kinds of stats. It's got different achievements that you can make as far as how many miles you ride in a single day in a week. It's also got some different settings for you as well, as far as how fast you want to go, how aggressive you want to ride, or if you just want a nice smooth ride. It's got all of that for you as well. The other nice thing about this app is it actually has a bunch of set rides that other Onewheel users have put into the app. So for instance, right now I'm at Lake Seminole Park, and users have mapped out some rides to show you all the trails, how long these trails are, how long it's going to take you to get through them, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. The other nice thing about the app and that whole mapping thing as far as the rides go is you can actually look in other areas, wherever you want really, and you'll see where people are riding these things and see what types of trails are out there for you to ride, so you can check those things out so you're not stuck at the same spot all the time. But with that being said, we're going to jump into this and get some riding in. So the board itself is pretty smooth. Obviously I'm on concrete right now, but the board's pretty smooth. It's a little difficult because I'm carrying like an 8 to 10 pound camera rig, so it throws off my balance just a little bit, but it's not that bad really. It's pretty smooth. Obviously I'm not going super fast because I'm not super experienced, and I'm carrying a bunch of money in my left hand, but we'll get better. I will say that out here, even though it's concrete, it's not super even, so it's a little bit harder. I would say it's harder, it just feels a little weird. It doesn't feel as stable as it was in the warehouse. So one thing that keeps popping up on my app is that my foot, part of my foot has been off the sensor for more than 10 seconds while at 10 miles an hour, which is a little worrisome because obviously I don't want the thing to shut off mid-ride. But I'm also concerned because I don't believe, maybe it's just my footing position, I don't know, but I'm gonna have to look into that. Because it's not like I'm taking my feet off of it. Obviously I've got a long ways to go on this thing. Although as a new rider, I feel pretty good on this thing. I feel pretty confident. The board feels really, really good. I can only imagine I'll get better from here. The other thing I'm noticing is that I put the fender on this thing and I can hear things kind of jumping around in there. Almost like stuff's getting stuck in there. The other tough thing for this is the dismount. You can either jump off both feet, or you have to lift your heel on your front sensor in order to disengage the electric engines. If you don't do this properly, the board will think you're still on it, so you can't just take one foot off right away or take the back foot off or whatever. Otherwise it'll keep spinning and it will not end nicely for you. Just waiting for people to pass by. Everyone wants to talk about the Onewheel. It's kind of cool, but I'm trying to shoot a video.
How fast that thing go?
About 20. I don't go that fast.
Liar.
I can't go that fast. It's scary. I know, I need one.
What are those going for now? Have they come down a little bit?
For the new XR, it's about 1,900 bucks. So.
I'll wait another year.
Yeah, they'll drop soon.
Oh yeah. That's Christmas.
More people. There's just a lot of interest in these things. It's crazy. I'm not mad about it. It's kind of cool to talk about it. Everybody seems to want one. They think they're really cool, so. Anyway, all right, so for the first ride, it wasn't too bad. And not gonna lie, it's not the easiest thing to do, especially when there's little dips and stuff in the road. So just be mindful of that. It was definitely a lot easier to ride this in a completely perfectly smooth warehouse yesterday, and I felt super confident. Today's a little bit different. It's definitely gonna take some work to get used to the little dips and stuff in the roadways and little bits of debris and stuff like that, because it does start to it floats a little bit, which you'd expect because it's literally one wheel. But other than that, I have to say that as a beginner, somebody who's never ridden one before, I feel like I picked it up pretty quick, at least for the most part. For me, my first impression of the Onewheel is, this thing's amazing. It was worth every single penny. I'm excited to get better at riding it. I'm excited to just explore downtown St. Pete or Tampa or whatever city I decide to go to and really get into putting some miles on this thing rather than just around the park. I'm super impressed with how smooth this thing is. Even over little bumps and stuff, you definitely feel it on uneven ground and whatnot, but the air in the tire is obviously a cushion, which is gonna help out tremendously. It's not just a solid tire that's gonna give you every single bump in the road. So the thing's actually pretty smooth. A couple concerns from the first ride, obviously, was as I'm riding, I'm getting this error in the app that's saying that my foot was off the foot pad sensor for more than 10 seconds while doing X speed, 9-10 miles an hour. So I'm gonna have to look into that because that's a little worrisome. And maybe it's a sensor issue, I don't know, because I don't feel, maybe it's just the way I'm standing on the board, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm too far on my toes or something, I don't know. Good news is it didn't cut out on me while I was cruising at 10 miles an hour. And for those of you thinking that 10 miles an hour is not that fast, on this thing it's cooking, it's fast. I can't believe how fast that felt just doing 10 miles an hour on this thing. I ride motorcycles and I'm doing obviously faster than 10 miles an hour. But on a one wheel like this thing, 10 miles an hour, I felt like I was doing like 100, I don't know, it's crazy. Now they say the thing will do up to like 19 miles an hour, and maybe I'll get there someday, but my top speed right now is like 10 miles an hour. I'm good with that. We'll just see what happens from here once I get more comfortable with it and everything like that. It's gonna take some time. I think I'm gonna pack up, time to eat some dinner. I'm sure I'm gonna be doing a lot more one wheel videos, I feel like, just exploring and stuff like that. Honestly, what I really need to do is more practice without the 10-pound camera in my hand, because that kind of threw me off a little bit. It's a little bit easier when you don't have to worry about the camera and you're just worrying about keeping balance. Leave a comment below if you've got a video of your first ride. I would love to see it. I like watching these first rides because some of them are kind of funny. They're interesting just to get other people's feedbacks. Let me know what you think below, and expect some more one wheel videos in the near future.